Welcome everyone. I'm subbing for Lisa today, and so happy to be here. Nice to see some familiar names and faces. And I saw that Lisa was teaching a combo of chair and mat, so I thought I have my chair and my mat, so I thought we would just do that. So if you'd prefer to sit up in a chair, find a comfortable seat where you can sit up nice and tall. Preferably a chair with no arms like this one. You know that. And if you're seated on your mat, maybe prop up a little bit, prop your hips up so you can have a nice tall spine. And then allow yourself to get seated. And just take a moment of silence for our technology snafus today. Moment of acknowledgement that stuff happens, right? And once you get set up, I have my feet on blocks. If you're seated in a chair, it might be nice to have your feet on a pillow or something if your feet don't quite reach the floor. But get your feet grounded on something. So with all this change and with all this constant uncertainty, it's nice to have our feet on the floor and be able to be grounded. And then allow your eyes to close and your shoulders to roll back and down. Tuck your chin. And just begin to be aware of your surroundings as we find our center again. Seems like these days we're finding and losing our centers continuously, but we know how because we practice, right? So maybe a little smile comes to your lips as we acknowledge that. And then notice the sounds in your space. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And notice your physical body. Where is it tight? Where is it feeling really nice and relaxed and loose? And where could you use a little yoga? Then bring your awareness to your breath, your natural breath. Just notice how it's flowing in and out this afternoon. And then as we relax a little bit more into our seat, begin to invite in a soft belly. And as you close your lips, invite in a deeper round of breath, beginning to draw the air into the nostrils, filling up all the way to the tops of the lungs so that the shoulders roll back and down again and the chest expands. And then as you exhale, keep it slow and easy, exhaling from the top to the bottom, letting the belly eventually draw back in toward the spine. Beautiful. Again, filling up. Deeper, slower breaths than usual, and letting go. Good. Take it again. Releasing the breath. And move with your inclination for a slower, fuller breath. And I will introduce my thought for the day. I've been reading this book by Madeline L'Engle, the author of A Wrinkle in Time and The Velveteen Rabbit. And she has this book called Glimpses of Grace, Daily Thoughts and Reflections. And so I like this reflection. It's not for today, it's for this weekend. She's talking about moving between two times. And I think it really spoke to me because as I'm moving through these days, I feel like I lose track of time, and then I'm not sure I really need to keep track of time. So every once in a while I do. She says, chronology, the word about the measurable passage of time. Although its duration varies, how long is a toothache? How long is standing in line at the supermarket? How long is a tramp through the fields with the dogs, or dinner with friends, or a sunset, or the birth of a baby? Chronology, the time which changes things, makes them grow older, wears them out, and manages to dispose of them, chronologically, forever. Thank God there is kairos, too. Again, the Greeks were wiser than we are. They had two words for time, chronos and kairos. Kairos is not measurable. Kairos is ontological. In kairos, we are. We are fully in isness, not negatively, as Sartre saw the issues of the oak tree, but fully, wholly, positively. Kairos can sometimes enter, penetrate, break through chronos. The child at play, the painter at his easel, Sirkin playing the Appassionata are in kairos. The saint at prayer, friends around the dinner table, the mother reaching out her arms for her newborn baby are in kairos. The bush, the burning bush, is in kairos. Not any burning bush, but the very particular burning bush before which Moses removed his shoes, the bush I pass on my way to the brook. In kairos, that part of us which is not consumed in the burning is wholly awake. We too often let it fall asleep, not as the baby in my arms droops into sleepiness, but dully, bluntingly. I sit in the rocking chair with a baby in my arms and am in both kairos and chronos. In chronos, I may be nothing more than some cybernetic salad on the bottom left-hand corner of a check, or my social security number, or my passport number. In kairos, I am known by name, Madeline. The baby doesn't know chronos yet. So as we practice, may we be like that baby, just being in this present, this isness, this kairos. So when you're ready, blink open your eyes, reach out your arms, and then reach up for all the goodness, finding length in the side body, and then exhale, draw your hands back down to your heart and your chin to your chest. Maybe create an intention for this practice, maybe for the rest of your whole day. And when you're ready, reach your arms out and up, inhale, and exhale, hands down to heart center. Good, chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck. We'll take that next one. Inhale, reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart center, chin to chest. And just release your hands to your lap. And maybe change the cross of your legs if you're seated on your mat, just to give your hips equal time. And with your chin on your chest, gently take a lift of your nose toward the ceiling as you inhale, stretching the front of the throat. And then exhale, draw your chin back down to your chest. Good. Inhale, nose to the ceiling. And exhale, lower. Good. Keeping those shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, lower, chin back down to chest. And just pause here. And as you're ready, take some just gentle semicircles, taking the chin over to the left side, and then exhaling it back down to center. Chin travels to the right side, and then exhale back to center. Let's take two more, just moving with the breath. Good. Allowing that gentle stretching of the neck. And then when you finish that last one, draw your chin back in, sit up nice and tall again, shoulders back and down, and make the chin more parallel with the floor, tuck it in, and then take some circles with your nose as though you're drawing a circle toward the right or left, whichever side called to you. Just drawing some gentle circles. You can close your eyes if it makes you dizzy. Good. And then switch directions, going in the opposite direction. Good. Breathing slowly and smoothly. Acknowledging the surprises that are often happening these days. As people run into my house with dogs, find a neutral seat, maybe cross the legs again, and then reach your arms up and lift your gaze as you inhale, and exhale. Take your side bend over to the left side. Good. Take your gaze to the right. Breathe in. And as you exhale, slowly relax that hand down to the side. Inhale, taking it back up, looking up, and exhale. Take it to the other side. Good. We'll take two more. Reaching up on the inhale, finding length in that side body, and then stretching to the other side as you exhale. Inhale to reach, exhale to stretch. Good. Moving with your breath. Last time. Good. As you reach up, maybe lean back as you reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Lean back a little bit, maybe look up towards your thumbs. And then exhale, draw your hands down to your heart center. Relax your hands and just begin to notice, maybe close your eyes for a moment. Notice what's going on in the shoulders. Notice what's going on with your breath. Come back to those long, slow Kairos breaths. Doesn't matter what time it is, it's yoga time. When you're ready, draw your shoulders up to your ears and squeeze them back, squeezing those shoulder blades together on the back. Inhale again, reaching up with the shoulders, and exhale, squeeze them back. Take that third one. Good. And notice how your shoulders are feeling. Good. Take your palms and clasp them, and then reach them forward. Anytime, if you're on your mat, anytime your legs start to feel like they need to be released, just send them forward and let them be long. So press your palms together and forward. And then notice if your shoulders are coming out of their sockets, draw them back in. And then as you inhale, reach them up. Take a big breath in, and then rain it down. Let your fingers sprinkle all the goodness down. We'll take the palms together again, and this time we're going to take some figure eights, working with the wrists, stretching them one direction and then the other gently. Good. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, we're going to shake that out. Take your right hand, shake it to the right and left. Take your left hand, shake it up and down. Haven't done this in a while, have we? It's fun. Okay, release that. Forget about that. Take your left hand, shake it left and right. Take your right hand, shake it up and down. Ooh, one side might be easier. Good job, you guys. Let it go. Roll your shoulders a few more times. And then we're going to come to sit a little more to the center of our chair. Take your feet hip width. And if you're on your mat, maybe bring your feet into Baddha Konasana just to give you some variation. And then when you're ready, arms sweep up, reaching up, maybe leaning back as you look up towards your thumbs. Maybe your palms clasp. Maybe your palms come together, sorry. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, let's take a twist to your left. So you can take a hold of the back of the chair. You can take this right hand to the outside of that left leg. And breathe in to lift your heart. And breathe out to take your twist from your left rib cage. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Let's see what we got in our twist to wring out all those internal organs. So good for us. Breathing in, feet flat on the floor though, and breathing out. Good. Inhale, we'll lift one more time. Let's see if we can twist a little bit more from that left side of the ribs. And exhale, we'll slowly unwind, roll out the shoulders. Good job. Again, reestablish that nice tall posture. Inhale, reach up, look up, and exhale, take your twist to the other side, keeping your knees parallel. Breathing in, lifting tall, and breathing out, twisting. Good. Couple more breaths here. Taking that twist from the right side of the ribs. Left side of the ribs, sorry. I was mirroring you, now I'm not. You know, go to the other side. Twisting from those ribs. One more breath, breathing in. And on your exhalation, slowly unwind. Good. So really switch the cross of your legs if you're seated. This is a long time to be seated. We're going to take some hip circles here. So just going in whatever direction feels most intuitive. Keep it slow, slower than me probably. Moving with your breath. Just starting to introduce a little movement into the lower back and the hips. Nice. You can even close your eyes for this. And then we'll switch directions. The feet can come a little wider if you're on your chair. If you're feeling like they're too close. And just start to make some gentle circles, allowing that lower back to release. Good. Nice. Then come up to sit tall, allow the eyes to close so we can let everything settle, get rid of any dizziness. Breathe in. Full breath into the tippy tops of the lungs, filling up in all directions. And then let it go, exhale it out. Good. And then feet come about as wide as your chair. And if you're on your mat, you might want to come into a child's pose, bringing your knees as wide as your mat and your big toes to touch. And then sinking your hips back to your heels, patting your knees as necessary. And we're going to come into a chair, child's pose of sorts, just bringing your elbows down to your legs to start, and just finding that place where you can feel a gentle stretch on your lower back. And if you have blocks, this is where blocks can come in handy, right in front of you. You might let your hands come down to the blocks, or just let your hands rest right here on your legs. Your chin can come down to your chest and you can bow forward, just exploring sensation in that lower back. And breathe in. Just let that lower back be, just notice what's going on there today as you breathe in all directions, into the belly and the back of the body. And then as you exhale, just slowly come on up. You can peel yourself back up. And then if you're in child's pose, you can rise up to your knees if your knees are feeling okay, and they're okay with being on the mat for a bit. Good. And then if you are on your mat, come up into a tabletop. Place your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And then if you're seated here in your chair, take your hands to the fronts of your knees and draw your chest forward. Lift your gaze on your inhale. We're going to take some cat-cows. So draw your belly back into your spine. On your exhale, round forward. And same thing, if you're on your mat, just move with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Shining that heart on the inhale, drawing those shoulders back. And on your exhale, rounding. Taking it slow. And take a few more. See if you can slow down even more. Good. So we're getting more into the rest of the spine here. The middle and the upper. And on this last one, just come forward, sit up nice and tall again. Allow your hands to rest on your lap. And if you are on your mat, you can take yourself up to that inverted V and find downward facing dog. Pressing your heels toward the floor. Taking your gaze back towards your knees. And after you've walked your dog, if you're on your mat, just find some stillness with us as we pause and just notice. Maybe there's a little more lift, a little more length in the spine. And then as you're ready, blink open your eyes. We'll walk forward into a forward fold if you are in your down dog. And if you're here with me on the chair, we're going to come forward back into that halfway lift. That's that sort of a little lower back stretch. And as you're ready, lower all the way down. Find your forward fold. So you can use your blocks if you happen to have them, or just let your arms dangle. Or if you're standing, maybe your hands come to your elbows and come into ragdoll here. Breathe here as you let your lower back relax. And if you're standing, have as much of a bend in the knees as necessary. And then shake your head yes. And shake your head no. Good. Take another breath in and come up to halfway lift. So standing, hands come to shins. Find that length in the spine. And as you exhale, take a fold again. Maybe this time, if you're seated, your belly comes to the tops of the legs and your head dangles toward the floor. And when you're ready, press into your feet. Take yourself all the way up into mountain pose. So rooting into the floor to rise and reach up, look up. And then let your palms touch right over your head and draw them down through the plumb line, that center line of your body, right down to your heart, letting your chin come to your chest. And just bowing here. Swallow in your throat, relax your throat, and just close your eyes for a moment. So if you're standing, congratulations, you've made it from the floor to standing. A whole new sensibility, right? And if you're seated, just notice. We've been through some sun salutations, so let's see how we feel. It's finding that presence, that isness, kairos. When you're ready, blink open your eyes. We'll take another sun salutation. So if you're standing, inhale, reach up and look up. If you're seated, follow me. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Find that half table if you're standing. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, we'll root to rise, and we'll add on, taking a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, and just lean over. Inhale, back up to center, and exhale, lean to the other side. Good. As you're ready, inhale, reach up, look up. And flip your palms, take them back behind you. If you're standing, clasp your hands. If you're seated, maybe take the sides of your chair and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Shine your heart, lift your gaze. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're ready, just release and shake it out. Nice job. Coming back to standing, hands at heart center. We'll take one more sun salutation as we move with grace. Arms extend. Inhale, reach up, look up, let the palms touch, and exhale, swan dive forward. Still at the front of your mat if you're standing. Inhale, take that halfway lift, and exhale, refold. Good. Inhale, root to rise, and take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Lean over to your right. Inhale, lift up and switch. Good. As you're ready, reach up, look up, and then take that little bit of a heart opener, reaching back to clasp your hands if you're standing, or the back of your chair. If you're seated, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Lift your gaze. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good job. We'll shake it out. If you're at the front of your mat, standing, come into mountain pose. And we'll pause here. Good. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Nice. And as you're ready, if you're standing, we're going to take our arms up, reaching up. If you're seated, follow me. Exhale your hands to heart center, and then fold down to the floor into your forward fold. Take your halfway lift and refold. And then with your hands on the floor, take your right leg back. And if you're seated, we're going to take our right leg over toward the right side of the chair. Now, I already messed up our my mirroring. That's all right. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, lean over toward that right leg, extended right leg. Good. So if you're standing, like so, you're taking a reverse of a warrior two. If you're seated, your right leg is extended, and we're taking a side angle. Good. As you're ready, come back up. We'll come into warrior two. So go ahead and, if you're seated, take your left leg forward like our friends standing. And then spin that right foot to flat and take your gaze over your left fingertips. Good. And then we're going to take our left arm to our left leg. And if you're standing up, you can do this. Take a side angle. Nice. Stretching in the other direction. Breathing in, maybe your gaze comes under that right arm. Nice. And as you're ready, as you're standing, coming back up to that warrior two, we're going to take our hands to the floor and step back to a plank pose and lower all the way down to the floor. Good. If we're seated, we're just coming back to seated. Good. As you are on the floor, you can lift back up to table and lift your hips coming into a downward facing dog. And then take a nice gentle walk to your forward fold, and we'll meet you there. So seated people, inhale, rise up, and exhale, fold. Good. And here we are all together again. The gang's all here. Inhale to our halfway lift. Draw your shoulders back and down. Exhale, fold again. And then as you're ready, if you're standing, step that left foot back. spin it to flat, and the right leg comes forward. We'll come into our warrior two here. We'll take our reverse as we inhale. Good. Reaching over. And then as we exhale, we'll take our right hand to our right leg. So we're just switching sides of the mat. So if you're standing, you're just going to the other side of the mat. Don't get confused. I'm trying not to. Good. Good. As you're ready, coming back through warrior two, all of us extending our arms, reaching out, looking out over those right fingertips. Good. And then if you're standing and you're ready to go ahead and take your flow. Take your hands to the floor, spin your left foot, and step back, coming into your plank and lowering all the way down. Good. And if you're with me on the seat, just come here. Bring your legs about as wide as mine, feet pointing out. And if you're on your mat, inhale to your downward facing dog. Good. And then exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. And then exhale, rise up, reaching up, all of us reaching up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So if you're standing, bring your legs a little bit wider than your hips and point your toes out, and we're going to come into a squat. And if you're seated, we're just going to bring our elbows to the insides of our legs, pressing them out, pressing into our legs with our elbows and into our elbows with our legs, getting that inner thigh stretch. Good. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. And as you're ready, go ahead and take a seat on your mat. Extend your legs long, so you'll be seated lengthwise on your mat. So legs will be extended long. And if you're seated with me in the chair, we're just going to hug that right knee into the chest. So if you're seated, right knee comes in and left leg is extended. Good. And then as you are able, if you're seated, you're going to take that right knee out to the side, and we're just going to come forward toward that left leg. But if you're seated with me, we're just going to extend that leg forward. So you have to scoot a little bit more on closer to the edge of your chair. And then come forward, just rounding over that left leg. So you're getting a hamstring stretch. And then point that left toe and flex it. And point the left toe and flex it. And then find some stillness here. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. And on your next inhalation, rise back up. Take that left ankle, if you're seated, and cross it over the right leg. We'll come into figure 4. So if you're seated, you can take your hands right beneath you and draw that right foot a little closer to your groin. And then you get this nice stretch. And if you're on your mat, that is, place your hands on the mat behind you with your fingers facing toward you, keeping those shoulders looped back. And if you're seated with me, this might be enough. One foot on the floor or on the block. And use your breath. Come forward, stretch. Good. Take a nice breath in. Nice breath out. One more deep breath in. Exhale it out. And slowly rise up. We'll switch sides, so extend that right leg, and if you're on your mat, you can take that external rotation and then take that forward fold. If you're with me, keep your butt glued to the chair, and then forward fold. Point and flex a few times. Good. And then as you're ready, slowly rise up, take that right ankle across the left. Scoot your bum into your heels, or your left heel into your bum if you're on the mat. Press your hands into the mat. And then if you're with me, seated in your chair, just slowly come forward till you feel that stretch in your hip that feels really nice and juicy. And close your eyes and breathe here. Finding your breath. Good. And take one more breath in. And then slowly release. Now, if you are with me on the chair, we're just going to lean back, keeping your bum right where it is. Take your upper back to the back of the chair and just lift your knees. Now, if you are seated, you'll know what to do. We're going to come into boat pose. So hands can come beneath your legs on your hamstrings, or you can extend your legs long, harder to do in a chair. Just see if you can find some balance here. Good. Notice what happens to your breath as your abs start to get involved. See if you can keep that slow, relaxing, kairos, present breath. Good job. We'll take one more breath in. Then one more breath out. Then slowly release. And then if you're on your mat, go ahead and lay down. Extend your legs long. Take a full body stretch. Come with me whether you're on the chair or not. Reach your arms overhead. And then send your legs forward and point your toes. And then flex your toes. And point your toes. And flex your toes. Good. Good. Release that both feet to the floor. Sit up nice and tall, and if you're on your mat, hug your right knee into your chest, and if you're not on your mat, hug your right knee into your chest. Take some ankle circles here. Sitting up nice and tall, just taking a nice hug of the knee into the chest. It's called wind relieving pose if you're laying down. Actually, it's if you're seated as well. Switch the direction of your ankle, your cross. Good. And find some stillness here. Maybe lean back and relax just for a moment. Breathe in. And if you're on your mat, just take your left hand and gently guide that leg across your body. And if you're seated on your chair, just cross your leg over top and come into something of an eagle. So my matters, you guys are taking a nice twist, and those arms are extended out, and you take your gaze to the other side. If you're seated, coming into eagle, extend your arms same way out into a T. And then the right arm is going to sweep underneath the left, and we'll come into eagle arms here. Now your palms can come together, or your backs of your hands might come together, or your palms might come together depending on the flexibility of your shoulders. And just breathe here, squeezing legs together, squeezing arms together. And those on the mat, just enjoy this twist. Close your eyes and breathe. Those who are with me, lift your elbows a little bit higher. Draw your belly into your spine. Enjoy this eagle pose. Good. A few more breaths. If you're coming with me on the chair, bow to this eagle, take your elbows toward your legs. Maybe inhale, squeezing together one more time, and then we'll open up our arms and unfold your legs. And if you're on your mat, just come back to center and just let your whole body just relax. Good. We'll take another eagle, and you guys on your mat, you can draw your left knee into your chest, wind relieving pose. Take some circles. So if you're seated on your chair, same thing, little seated wind relieving pose. Circle your ankle in the other direction. Good. And then as you're ready, take your twist or your eagle. So we're going to wrap that leg around. See if you can maybe tuck that one leg behind the other. See if that works. And gently guide, if you're on the mat, gently guide that leg across the body, opening your arms out, stretching your arms, and turning your neck in the opposite direction so you can get that good neck stretch. Gentle neck stretch. Okay, we're going to squeeze the legs together, and then as you're ready, shoulders permitting, we're going to take the left arm and swing it under the right and loop the arms together. Good. So this is a real compression, right? We're compressing the legs together, the arms together to bring blood flow to some nooks and crannies that may not have received such love recently. So let's just close our eyes and feel that compression. And on your inhale, maybe lift the elbows up, maybe lift your gaze. And on the exhalation, bring your elbow down, drawing your belly into your spine. Maybe take one more, depending how you're feeling. And if you're on your mat, just enjoy this twist for another couple of breaths. Good. As you're ready, slowly we'll come back to center, fly your wings, release your legs. And if you're seated in your chair, just let your hands rest right in your lap. Let your eyes close. And if you're laying down, maybe hug your knees into your chest. And draw some circles on the ceiling with your knees, massaging out your spine. Good. And then if you would like to come down off of your chair, and come down to your mat. It might be nice. I'll show you what we can do. If you'd like to stay on your chair, do. But if you'd like to come down and join me, we're just going to extend our legs up to the sky and take get our legs up over our heart, reverse that circulation. Good. And if you've decided to stay on your chair, just keep your eyes closed and just notice sensation. Good. So good to get the legs up above the heart. And if you'd like to place them on your chair, that's good too, or on a pillow. Let's just stay here for a few more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice. Beautiful. And if you're on your mat with your legs up in the air, slowly lower them down, extending them long. Maybe take one more reach up, getting long, finding that length in the body, pointing the toes, reaching the fingertips as far as you can go. And then as you're ready, just release your hands out to the sides if you're on your mat, and just let your hands come down to your legs if you're seated with me. And just take a moment to close your eyes and just notice how you feel. Notice sensation. And we'll take a little progressive scan of the body, starting with the feet, bringing your awareness, your isness, into the toes, and moving it up into the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet, into the heel, the ankle, the shin and the calf. Moving that awareness up into the legs, the knees, the quadriceps, and the hamstrings. Up into the hips and the pelvis, the belly, the lower back, the solar plexus, and the heart space, the upper back, the shoulders, the arms, the hands and the fingers, the chest, the neck, the back of the throat, the face, the cheeks, the eyes, the scalp, and the ears. Softening, relaxing into this final shavasana, just allowing the body to be present, letting go of any control of the breath. It's getting heavy and soft at the same time. And giving yourself a final few moments of stillness. Begin to deepen the breath. And bring small movements to fingers and toes. Turn the head from side to side. And if you're on your mat, you always have the choice to stay there. No judgment. Take a longer Shavasana, but if you'd like to roll to one side and pause before eventually joining us in a seat, and come up to a seat and close our eyes. And just take a moment to be present to what is, what's going on in your body, your space, your mind. And as you're ready, reach your arms out. Get really expansive and send those fingertips up to the sky. Let your palms touch overhead as though you're drawing down all the goodness, drawing it all the way down through the center line of your body, bringing your hands to your heart and your chin to your chest, giving a little bow of reverence to yourself for practicing, for showing up, for that self-love. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. Those of us who are on the chair, those of us who are on the floor, we're all in different places, right? It's all good. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Nice job, you guys. I hope that wasn't too confusing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope.
Get Carolyn's last name for attendance.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you. Chair yogis and floor yogis.